Alright friends, welcome back again to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. This YouTube channel is dedicated to all things Bannerlord related, and especially advanced battlefield command and tactics. At some point or other we'll have to change that saying because I'll be playing some other kind of tactical game, but for now it's all Bannerlord. And today we have an Empire versus Khuzait custom battle. Frequently I have people who have a difficult time with horse archers telling me how the fuck do I deal with these guys, and so every once in a while I'm going to pump out a video that shows a little different process, maybe a little more refined process. So in this custom battle, all the sides here, both the sides here have access to all the troops except the lowest level recruits. In addition to that, of course, as you can see, we're outnumbered by about 60 troops. Now, my main plan with Khuzait is typically to try to trap their horse archers, right? It's basically the strength of the Khuzait is their movement, is their horse archers, and so what we're going to try to do in this battle is eliminate those horse archers. We're not going to be able to kill them all, but if you understand their probable approach to your army, you plan for it, and then you develop a trap, sometimes you can have very, very effective results with that. Of course, if you can knock out one big leg of their tripod, so to speak, of their army, then the rest of their army is pretty easy to deal with. So I'll try to explain what I'm doing here. I've got a horse archer division. We have a handful of horse archers ourselves. It's a very small amount. I've got a strong infantry division. I've got a strong cav division in the second. So the 6th and the 2nd, they will be on our right wing, and we will be trying to envelop the enemy. Meanwhile, the 1st and 3rd, these are shield wall defensive troops, right? Lower level cavalry and infantry, guarding an infantry tranche, just like this. Now, there's another element that I've started to add after more archer testing. For whatever reason, the game mechanics, probably because they do so much damage and they shoot fast, they're already preloaded. Crossbow absolutely devastate horse archers. Plus, these guys can square, so I can have those guys out over here on our left wing, and not only will they cause a lot of damage as the horse archers come in, but they will devastate them. Meanwhile, on the right wing, we've got this 2nd Cav, 6th Division, which is elite infantry, so there'll be Manabliatons, Legionnaires, and whatnot. And our idea here is basically to swing these wings over here on the right around behind the horse archers, trap them against these rocks, prevent their escape, and then, of course, attack them with infantry, attack them with cavalry, shoot them full of arrows. Right, so it's a very delicate balance to this. I'm going to use the RTS mode occasionally for this and other episodes in the future. Hopefully that doesn't drive you guys crazy. I'm trying to save your time. I'm trying to be succinct with the information that we're passing on here. Now, notice already their horse archers are separating from their main army. This, of course, is not optimal strategy because they should be attacking in unison. They should be bringing their archers up to shoot. You know, you want to menace the enemy with your archers and then bring your horse archers up on the flank of the enemy, so it's very difficult for the enemy to protect. Unfortunately, the AI typically will leave a lot of its troops back, just like this, as their horse archers approach. Well, we're going to take advantage of that. Alright, so they're starting to come in. This is actually very recklessly and sort of a bread and butter approach. A lot of times they're a little more cagey. Here they're just coming in like, you know, like they're the biggest badass on the planet and nothing concerns them. So in we come, right? We're going to spring our trap. Now our horse archers, or excuse me, our crossbow are going to do a pretty good number on them. You see them racking up kills, but we're about to put on the real diabolical move here. So the cav get told to come up in a line, 3 men deep, right? Not in a shield wall yet. You want these units to get into place quickly. The infantry are also coming up, although they're slower. And as the horse archers try to retreat, they're going to run into this line of incredibly angry heavy cav. Now, we're not going to attack here. I just want these guys standing here like gatekeepers saying, you don't have the fucking password. You don't have the fucking Mongol password to get out of here. The infantry's coming up as well. All we're trying to do here is basically like push them away, like the poor minimum wage workers that have to deal with those Black Friday maniacs, and the horse archers get bottled up here really bad. Meanwhile, our horse archers are on the other side, flanking them and shooting with arrows. None of these guys can escape. They're being raked by crossbow fire. Of course, our infantry's boring in here as well, and they can't move. None of these guys can move. They're routing. The death spam obviously is massively in our favor. I see a few of them that escaped, but this was one of the more complete routes I've seen, right? We've got horse archers over there to sort of clean up any of the guys that barely escaped. And I think literally they got 3 guys out. I think the number was 3 there. So it doesn't get much more effective than that, right? We just destroyed, what is that, 200 and something horse archers, and it was very painless for us, right? Maybe we lost 20 troops there. And I could just end the episode right here already, right? I could literally say, okay, you guys have seen enough. That was that. But I'm going to do this at least one more time here. I will try to demonstrate this again in another battle, both so you know it's not a fluke, but also so that you can see it a little bit more accurately. If you guys really call for it, maybe I'll do an RTS overhead of this. Obviously, this is a fairly advanced tactic because you're moving troops around in real time, and there's precision required. If you miss where your archers, or excuse me, if you miss where your cavalry sets up, then obviously it doesn't work as effectively. So here we're just going to envelop the rest of their forces. I'm just dragging my cav into their cav. At this stage, we have cav superiority, right? Because we destroyed some 200 of their cav already, their horse archers. We're going to envelop their infantry here. So the elite infantry is being sent to the enemy's left. These other infantry, we will pull them back in a square with other horse cav forces behind them. And then we're sending our second cav behind the enemy here for a full envelopment, right? This is a melee kill box. Their archers are coming up, and I want to deal with these guys as well because they're causing heavy losses. They're also compacted, right? So we can drive our cav right through here. I was going to send our cavalry into the back of the infantry there, but here it's better just to interrupt their archers. You know, when you have 120 archers attacking you like this, it's always better to prioritize them. You guys know what I think about cavalry compared to archers. These guys are literally superior to us, but the way to deal with them is not necessarily to charge here, but rather to drag our troops right through, knock them all over the place, cause charge damage, and most importantly, stop them from shooting. Meanwhile, our infantry divisions here, I didn't explain it because so much is going on, but our 6th Corps, that's our best infantry, was sent in on the enemy flank. I think I mentioned it, and then as soon as they were close, I charged. I do that the same way that you know where your car keys are, or you know how to type your email. I do it autonomously because I've played so much Bannerlord. I understand that was a lot to sort of take in 8 minutes. And so like I said, I think I'll fight this battle again. This was too easy. Frankly, we're just kind of shredding them. They get some reinforcements here, but it's not going to matter. I think we'll give them more troops in this second run. But the crux of it really is that first 5 minutes, right? You get them to commit to your left, right? If you're looking at the horse archers, you want them coming into the left. That way your strategy works. Once they do, you envelop them, you shut off their escape, and horse archers that can't move are basically just weak foot troops. They don't have very strong armor, except like the cons guards and stuff like that. And vitally, once they're standing still, they're pretty easily taken care of. Their archers are routing as well, so the rout is nearly complete. Our infantry's up here just having a blast. I don't think I'll fight this down to the very last guy. Even in custom battles against the Khuzait, it takes a while because there'll be 5 or 6 cons guards that just refuse to rout. You see all their archers are routing. I'm mostly just doing this so nobody says, hey, you stopped the battle before it was over. I know it's over. An experienced player also knows this is over, but for someone who's still learning, I don't want them to have much doubt that this was victory, right? This isn't just victory, this was destruction. We actually have half our force alive, even though we're outnumbered. I swear she says, fuck you, and swings her glaive. I love that part. All right, so handful of last cons guards here. Stay tuned if you want to see this again, or of course you can always just rewind, right? The beauty of YouTube or however you're watching this is you can just just rewind and watch it over again. And it does occur to me that an RTS view of this would probably be helpful to you fellas, so we'll see what I can do. I don't really want to make this like a 30 or 40 minute episode. This guy was saying yesterday, hey, I have a real hard time with them, man. I can't ever seem to fucking defeat and destroy their horse archers without a lot of jockeying and a lot of losses. Hopefully that's a pretty good example. So let's give you one more example here. Let's get crazy here, right? Let's give them more than 100 more troops than us, right? So we're outnumbered now by 20+%, and we'll see if we can't pull out victory using similar tactics here. All right, so identical stuff here again. You get these crossbow by selecting higher tier and shields. And this, I have learned, is a vital element in destroying Khuzait. I am in the process of making a bunch of archer guides. I think there might be 3 or 4 before I'm all done. I haven't done, you guys probably noticed, I haven't done an archery guide. I've got cav guides, we've got infantry guides, but I'm going to get deep into the weeds on archers. That'll also accompany my archer-only series. And I've learned through tests, through tons of experience, that archers do okay against crossbow, or excuse me, do okay against horse archers, but crossbow absolutely fucking devastate horse archers. It's a strange game mechanic. I don't know if it's supposed to be rock, paper, scissors, but that's another tip, right? If you're having a hard time against horse archers and you're playing Empire, start upgrading the crossbow line more often, right? You get that choice. I think it's after the trained infantry, or trained archer rather. You have the choice of upgrading to a crossbow or a veteran archer. Go crossbow, right? If you're having a hard time with horse archers, just go with lots and lots of crossbow. Don't forget they can square once they hit tier 5. The Imperial Sergeant crossbow is a savage unit. I might have to do an underrated series on them. They can fight in melee, they can form squares, shield walls, they rape horse archers, they do just fine in regular battle, they crush it in siege. It's slowly becoming one of those units that I sort of, like a talent scout on a football field, I just identify as this guy's a really good player, you know, marginally, potentially overpowered. All right, I better get back to the tactics here. Again, their horse archers are taking a little more of a frontal approach. That's fine. So we're playing with them here. I've got my cav and a shield wall line. This is actually good, right? The horse archers are sort of showing a different strategy here, and we're going to deal with it, right? We're going to chase these guys out of here. We don't want them hammering our troops at range, so all I'm doing here is dragging my cav force directly into them. Right? We're just chasing them off. This is an important part. If they're doing something that you find advantageous for the enemy, horse archers usually will regroup and pull back if you just bring cav right into their midst, right? It also makes good sense, right? These guys are not going to duke it out against elite cataphracts. So now that we've chased them out, we're going to reset, right? Because again, we're hoping that they perform their normal behavior, and that is circling. That circling behavior, you know, is something that the AI actually does a pretty good job with, right? They circle pretty well, and I forgot to mention that as well. I intentionally positioned our troops forward enough so that the horse archers would be able to circle us. Obviously, that's the easiest way to deal with them, is just to go to the very back of the map, press yourself up against the wall, and then they can't circle you at all, right? But I also, as well as plenty of other players, kind of find that on the margin of cheese, right? It definitely feels a little bit like cheese, right? In the tundra, in the steppe like this, there is no back of the wall unless you have a bunch of rocks or a mountain to put yourself against. And so, you know, many people who play Bannerlord sort of consider it unfair sportsmanship to just shove yourself at the back of the map, right? There's no such thing against the Mongols in real life. All right, so our crossbow, predictably, are raping the horse archers here, but the real raping and real massacre comes, and this should look very similar, right? We're performing the exact same tactic as the first episode. I just want to show you that it's not a fluke. This will work over and over again as long as your timing and spacing are good. Now, sometimes they keep circling, right? If they keep circling, bring your cav in at them. Here they come. They're starting to retreat. Shit, get over here. You see they're heading more towards the rocks, so we're going to try to pull our units more towards the rocks. Now, more are escaping this time, but a whole bunch of them got caught at the edge of that cav line, and of course we're doing major damage, and the death spam says it all, right? These are higher, some of them are higher level horse archers, and it's a complete massacre. Like, they died en masse here. I would say we probably killed half of their horse archers in this second go of this strategy. Now this is interesting. Unlike the first episode, they're charging up aggressively with infantry, archers, and heavy cav, so it's going to allow us to perform more tactics here. We're going to pull this 6th Corps, these elite infantry back. Let's spread out our crossbow here at an off angle. That way these guys can get flanking fire. I'm dragging the 2nd and 8th Corps. These are our heavy cav and horse archers, and we're going to start to envelop this infantry, of course, right? It's just a constant stream of enveloping. That's one of the key strategies to Bannerlord. If you can attack enemies on their flanks and multiple points, you can obviously have great success. So infantry, that's the 1st and 5th archers there are in good position, firing arrows as the enemy comes over. They've left our square alone. Once these guys got over that hill, of course, they had cover from the ridge. And now we collapse on their infantry, right? Their infantry's boring in on our 1st infantry. This nice block of Khuzait infantry. It's only 76 guys, but I think we've wounded it badly with arrow fire. Just like the 1st battle, their archers are going to be hard to deal with, but one unit at a time, right? There's kind of chaos and skirmishing back here. Their cav is actually, heavy cav is actually devouring our archers. That's okay, because we're destroying their infantry. It's kind of like a chess trade, right? They got our rook, but we just got their queen. Their infantry here gets swallowed up. The 1st infantry gets told to charge. You can see our elite infantry coming over the ridge. That's the last thing the enemy wanted to see. And of course, I'm dragging the heavy cav unit right behind here as well. So it doesn't look that good now, but I bet it's going to look good soon. Once that infantry starts boring in on the enemy, it should turn solid green. And almost like a magic trick, I just ordered it up. It's mostly green there. The enemy infantry gets eviscerated. This guy loses a head. And now at this stage, the battle's, again, almost academic. It's not completely over. You can still lose at this phase. So we've destroyed their horse archers. We've destroyed their infantry. What's next? Their archers, right? So we're going to slowly and systematically destroy these guys. Let's put a cav line right in their face. I will drag the 2nd and the 2nd cav around on the enemy here. Horse archers are positioned to their flank. And I don't have that many cav yet, but I'm just going to start driving them right through their horse archers here. Just like the 1st battle, I'm not actually attacking. You can, once they're close, you can say charge. I like follow me, right? When you're doing follow me in this instance, what's happening, of course, is your heavy cav, and they will spear guys and stuff like that. They will take an opportunity to do damage. But the biggest thing is I want them running exactly like I want them, directly through their archer line. Why? We're doing that so the infantry can get to their archers, right? They can't kite if they're being run over by horses, or they can kite, but very bad things happen, right? If they're just running the whole time, then they're going to get absolutely massacred. Here they're fighting it out, which is actually the appropriate strategy for their archers, but it still doesn't matter. It's checkmate. Whatever they do, they lose. If they run, they get really trucked by our cavalry. If they stand still, then our angry infantry arrive, and our infantry obliterates them. It really is a checkmate situation. Now again, just like the 1st battle, this battle is over as soon as we destroyed most of their horse archers. You could just think of it like a boxing match. If in the 1st round you fucking stagger the guy so badly with a badass approach that he's got a black eye and is wobbling the rest of the fight, unless something really unusual happens, you've already won the round, right? We're just systematically wiping out their strongest unit. For NFL fans, National Football League fans, the analogy is also simple. It's the Bill Belichick approach to football. He would commonly, his approach would be to take out the opposition's best player and basically try to neutralize. Like if they had some elite receiver, he would neutralize that guy, and then the rest of the game becomes easier because you've removed their major threat. Here, once we destroyed their horse archers, this battle was effectively over. And now it's just kind of a matter of mop-up. Alright, so this wasn't actually a request. This fella didn't actually request me to play out a battle here using the custom battle menu to show him, sort of how you deal with horse archers. But I sort of took it on myself to say, hey, let's show this guy here. Admittedly, I've already had episodes that showed sort of similar tactics at this, but I like to sort of show updated and refined tactics. There's little things that are different here that I haven't showed fellas in the past. The crossbow component especially, I think, is going to be a big surprise to you. A lot of guys, of course, have already discovered this, right? Either empirically or just anecdotally in your battles. You have noticed that crossbow do really well against horse archers. I tested this like 100 different times using the custom battle menu, etc., and they mangle horse archers. They don't just defeat horse archers. Try it. Try a custom battle menu. Do 300. Do 300 Imperial Sergeant crossbow against like
400 or 500 of the tier 5 horse archers and watch the death spray. It's impressive. So another little thing for you guys to glean out of it. That's a little bit of a spoiler teaser trailer to the archer guides. Those will be coming out in the upcoming weeks. I've got so much content at this stage that I would overwhelm you guys if I just released it all at once. Right? We've got a bunch of the battles from the campaign that are still happening. Honestly, those were played a couple months ago, and at this stage, I just have content almost backed up. Like, can you have too much of a good thing, fellas? I hope you guys think these episodes are a good thing. I appreciate you fellas, but again, I wanted to punch out this example for this fella here, and there you have it. This is that rounding up process with the Khuzait horse archers. But I think we're going to wrap this up. You guys get it. You guys saw both these battles. Here, I think if I remember right, we were outnumbered by 100, and we just completely put these guys into the dirt, right? These horse archers eat shit, and victory is ours. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up. We're approaching 20 minutes on this episode. Thanks again for watching, fellas. Hopefully these tips and tricks continue to help you guys. I hear that all the time from you fellas. I appreciate the feedback. If you want to see something specific with these custom battles or some other scenario, let me know. I appreciate you guys. Of course, please subscribe if you want to see more. Put on those little notifications. It'll tell you immediately when content comes out. With all that said, fellas, thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys next time.